Just as a little educational brief point, there are kind of 5 different standards of mens rea. I guess we can go through them very briefly. Mens rea, by the way, is the mental state element required for a crime. So obviously you have the act, right? You do the thing.
Or
but
actus reus.
The actus reus, right? That's the other half of the equation.
If you want the Latin version.
Yeah. And then there is kind of 5 different versions of mental state. And I can just go through those briefly.
Yeah, let's do it.
The first is negligence. It's fairly that you have a duty, you fail to observe the duty, you do so in a deficient way, and that's just standard negligence. Recklessness is willful disregard of known risks or a risk that should have been known. Now, at this point in recklessness, you can talk about should have been known because you are in a position where you're engaging in activity where, you would have to pay attention to that.
I disagree.
So, you don't think should have known will work for recklessness?
No. I think should have known is will work for negligence. Recklessness is that you know of the risk, but you disregard the risk.
Okay.
So recklessness is I have a gun and I point it at you and disregard the risk. And if something happens, then. But negligence is I don't know I have a gun, but I should have known I had.
Okay. Yeah. I think Nate is right on this one. I think that the correction is well warranted, and I will retract what I said in the effort to get it correct. So recklessness, yeah, you have to knowingly disregard a perceived risk. And then you act in another another word for reckless is like wanton, careless.
Yeah.
These kinds of phrases are normally used. The next step up is knowledge. I have specific knowledge of the outcome. This is slightly different than intent. It's like I know the outcome will occur, but not necessarily that I want it to occur. So there's a difference there, right? Yeah. And then of course the last step of the chain is not only did I know it would occur, I wanted that to occur. That was my hope for outcome, desire, role in life. Yes. That was my thing, my hope for. And the last step up the hierarchy, which is very rarely used, is strict liability, where no particular mens rea is required. This is often, but not always, true in statutory rape cases, where some states don't require particular mens rea. I have thoughts about that, but that's the law in some states, but not all.
There's also like for if you house some very dangerous creatures like tigers, for example.
Yes.
And they get out and they kill someone, you are strictly liable for all of those harms.
Yeah. So if you're literally playing with dynamite or tigers or something, then all your due care in the world is not sufficient.
Yeah.
And if the explosives kill people and the tigers kill people, sucks to be you. I guess you should have done more.
And also too, a lot of your traffic violations, speeding.
If you're running Jurassic Park, Jurassic Park, all the electric fences and the supplements and all the things in the world are not going to absorb you of liability when the dinosaurs start eating people. Not going to work. The dinosaurs are inherently dangerous.
Yes, they are inherently dangerous, and despite sparing no expense, even though they didn't.
Although it seemed like you spared. It seems like you might have spared some expenses. I can think of some things you might have done that might have been better.
On safety.
Maybe you could have gotten some really big titanium cages or something. I don't know.
Some bigger wires, maybe for that electric
fence. Thicker wires. Maybe you wouldn't necessarily just rily on. Did you think about the fact that electricity could fail?
Did
you think about that? Did you think about that possibility? So many questions. But unfortunately, they ate the lawyers. So,
did you leave enough lawyers around for them to eat instead of eating humans?
Yes, exactly.